Sophie, the last 4 games, you guys have had a fourth quarter lead slip out of your hands. Have you noticed a theme in those quarters of something you guys are doing wrong that's getting these games away from you?
Man, I think we're trying to figure it out. You're right. We've had double-digit leads going into the fourth, and then we just let it slip. And so for us, we got to be better from top to bottom. We have to have better energy, better focus. And at the end of the day, like, we've shown that we can do it. It's all about consistency, and we're trying to give each other grace and patience. But at some point, you gotta dig in and say enough is enough.
Tonight, fourth quarter, they had 35 points, I believe. What did you see defensively go wrong for you guys down the stretch?
Man, I mean, they were running a play where little brush screen at the bottom. They're tall, you know. We try to go small ball, but again, at some point we got to take ownership and say no. You know what I mean? And we just didn't do that. And we're going to be better from it. We're going to learn from it. It's going to make us tougher, but we have to flip that switch. It's getting to the part of the season where we can't just be like, hey, like next game. No, like we got to make the correction and do it quick.
Sophie, I wanted to ask about that late foul that got called on you that turned into that 5-point swing.
The one that was a foul or the one that wasn't?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, just how did that swing really affect?
Killed us. I mean, if I'm going to be playing the 4, I got to do a better job. I gotta box out. I got to get into her legs. She's tall, but that can't be my excuse, right? Like I got to outwork her, and so I have to be better in that area. And I'll learn, and I will be better.
Ari, first game back in a while for you with this team. How'd you feel just being out there and just continue to build chemistry with this unit?
It felt good to be out there, but just not satisfied. We let this one slip away from us. We got to be more focused and disciplined, especially in the fourth quarter. And just think we just can't. We have to have foul discipline. Like we can't give up like soft fouls in the fourth quarter and then they're in the bonus. It just comes down to executing and just guarding our yards and adjusting and making teams do something different.
Harry, were you confident you were going to be back here this summer?
I was.
I think most people were, but were you, and how did you react when you, I guess, got the key phone call?
I was excited for sure, and I was confident I was going to come back. I had talks with Kelly and Amber and Coach before leaving, and it just felt like it was a place to be. I love the girls; they're amazing. Good basketball players with better human beings. Love the staff, and it just really felt like home. So I'm excited to just play for this organization and just keep building chemistry and getting better.
Sophie, what's kind of been the attitude here as you guys are in the midst of this grind of a schedule, and also on top of that, having these continuous disruptions? How do you bond and stay together during this rough patch?
Yeah, I think so far this season we've had a lot of distractions, you can call it, some injuries. Don't know who's playing. And so there's just a lot of distractions, but I think that's really good for us. Let's go through the adversity early. Let's learn from it. Good news is we're not going to peak too early, so I mean that's a positive. But I think it's not an excuse. Everyone's playing a back-to-back. Everyone has this kind of rough schedule. For us, we get another opportunity tomorrow, and we got to capitalize on it. Dallas is a team that's hungry for a win, and we talk about this. We are circled on everybody's schedule. No one likes us, right? So everyone in our locker room, that's the only type of people that we have that we can lean on, and we got to be better in that area. We have got to stay disciplined. We have to stay focused. We need to get consistent, and we got to lean on each other. And I think that we've kind of wavered a little bit on that. We have our own islands, but as one of the leaders on the team, I got to do a better job of grouping people, right? In the fourth. It's going to kill us, right? Like they scored 35 points, I think you guys said. That just cannot happen. Can't happen. Or if they do, then we need to be scoring 35, 36, 37 points. So we just got to be better from top to bottom. But the schedule thing, that's just an excuse. We're in this league. We're pros, and you got to be a pro, and tomorrow we got to bring it.
This is the third time last 4 games you guys have double-digit second-half lead, even fourth quarter, and can't close. What to you is there thematically that's gone on in these games that you guys haven't been able to finish?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we haven't shown a killer instinct yet, and that's we have had a tendency to relax in those moments instead of, for lack of a better term, go for the kill, right? We've had empty possessions where we've been too lax with the basketball and have either taken poor shots or not valued every opportunity we have to score. We've had breakdowns on the defensive end of the floor. It's moments of mental lapses or mental relaxation that you can't have in this league.
Tonight specifically, they had 35 in just the fourth quarter. What did you see defensively break down in that period?
Lack of communication. We had a lot of people in gray areas, lack of discipline to our coverages. We just, lack of physicality. I think they scored 3 times in a row in the same play, and there was zero communication. And just like any good team, you go back to it, right? You continue to go back to it. Fouling, undisciplined fouling, all of those things that we have to be better at. I mean, that's something that we struggled with throughout the course of the season is just the undisciplined fouling and putting teams to the free throw line. And then we had empty possessions offensively. We weren't organized always, turning the ball over at critical moments, not getting high percentage, high quality shots, allowing their physicality to affect us.
Yep. You mentioned that sequence where they scored 3 times in the one play. Just how did that, Hamby getting the rebound, getting the foul, then Stevens getting the rebound, getting the foul. How did that kind of take the air out of you guys?
Well, those are 2 different things. The 3 times that they scored on the cross screen with Azare Stevens was more about our execution to coverage. The offensive rebounds did, and part of that's on me. I should have had a big in there to make sure that we were rebounding on the free throw line. But just attention to detail, right? Making sure that we're pushing back. You can't just be in front of someone and try to jump up and get a rebound and expect to get a call. There's got to be a level of physicality that we have to box out. We have to push them back. If I remember correctly, I think Hamby's was off of a missed shot. We were in a rotation, and we got to be disciplined to finish plays.
Stephanie, you've been dealing with a lot of different lineup changes throughout the season. How do you maintain a certain level of consistency throughout all of that with, like you said, hard play and execution, things of that nature?
Well, with the injuries particularly, you can't really maintain a consistent rotation. So, it's just something that we're not necessarily always reinventing the wheel. But at the same time, when you've got such a ball-dominant player like Caitlin, out of the game, who makes everybody's job a lot easier, then you've got to find ways to try to position them to get some easy ones, which means that our screen setting has to be elite. Our ability to keep spacing and be slow into and quick out of screening actions. The gaps close a lot quicker, so our decision making has to be better. And the ball's got to move. I felt like the ball got stuck. We held it a lot. We kept it on one side of the floor a lot. We didn't really make them work side to side defensively.
You mentioned that killer instinct. How much does that even go back to that second quarter? I think they went 9 minutes without scoring, and I think the lead was just like 4 at that point. And then to the other part, though, I think 11 first-half steals. What did you like about the intensity on that end?
Yeah, I think after they punched us in the mouth, we responded defensively, and we were able to get out in transition and get some easy buckets. We've got to continue to do that, and we don't always have to get offense from our defense, but it starts our break. It allows us to get out and to do what we want to do. Now, we don't run quite as much without Caitlin on the floor, but we still need to be able to and get out and get some easy ones. But yeah, I think that period where they went like 9 straight and we only scored 5 points. We've got to be able to take advantage right there, and sometimes it's not always taking the first shot. It's making sure we get the best shot. It's making the defense guard multiple actions. I felt like during that stretch, we either turned it over or we took quick ones that were maybe contested ones. It's an area of growth for our team, and it has been. And we got to find a way to flip the switch and be able to approach every single possession for 40 minutes with an intention and with an intensity and sense of urgency.
You're up by 10 points right at the beginning of the fourth quarter. Was there a sense at all that you could make a difference there, pull away a little bit, or that you might have things were going the way you wanted them to, and that would not end up this way?
Yeah, I think that's a challenge for our group, is when we do get up double digits, we've got to be able to put teams away. And what does that look like? Being able to manage the game offensively, being able to dig in and get stops defensively. Number one on our scouting report was protecting the paint, and they 42 points in the paint. That's not good enough. We got to be better as coaches and preparing them for that, and we got to be better executing it.